Think about anytime you've done any sort of icebreaker and the icebreaker is like, tell me 3 fun facts about you. And you're like, what is fun about me? What is interesting about me? What makes me unique? Like, it's literally you, and you still have trouble figuring out what to say. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new here. Hey, hello, my name is Angela and I make videos about law school, lawyer life, and all things in between. Today's video, we are going to be talking about how to network in law school. Now, for my law students and my future law students, I know you guys have heard the term networking ad nauseum. So today we're going to be talking about how to actually network while you're in law school. Now, before we get into it, let's just talk about what networking is. Like, what is networking? Networking is essentially building and maintaining relationships with contacts and people within your profession, your industry, or just common areas of interest. It is actually important for law students to begin networking before they become a licensed attorney. A lot of people think like, oh, I'll start networking when I get into my career, when I become an actual lawyer. But actually, it's pretty important for law students to start networking in law school. This is actually something that, looking back, I criticized myself on. Like, I should have and could have done a little bit better at networking in law school, especially as it relates to maintaining the relationships and connections that I made and built in law school. So learn from my mistakes and make networking, building and maintaining those relationships a priority in law school. The reason why networking is so important is it has the ability to open certain doors for you, create certain opportunities for you that you might not have if you weren't in certain positions or know certain people. So for example, networking can bring jobs, it can bring mentorship, it can bring referrals, it can bring referral sources, it can allow you to meet people to be a soundboard, especially as a law student or a young lawyer. There is so much that you won't know, but there's a lot of times going to be somebody who does know what you need to know, or you can at least bounce ideas off of it with people within your profession or industry. Now, in a law school context, it will likely come in handy when it comes to studying and learning how to do law school and learning how to outline and getting outlines and all sorts of things like that. So this is why it's important to start networking well before you actually become a lawyer. You should be networking in college, and you should certainly be networking in law school. So now that we know what networking is and why you need to network in law school, let's talk about where to network. Like, where are you doing this networking? You hear about people talking about networking. Like, where are we doing this networking at? As a law student, probably the first and the easiest networking to do is in the classroom with your peers. Essentially, you're just going to be building relationships with the people in your classes and that you go to school with. This could be through like actual class, this could be through your study groups, this could be through joining your law school organization, and also any sort of law school hosted events like law school prom, any sort of info sessions, orientation, anything the law school puts on is going to be an opportunity for you to meet your peers, make connections, and potentially build relationships with people. And then in addition to your classmates, you also can network with your professors in the classroom as well. So building a deeper connection with your professor is going to be a good idea. Professors are largely going to be good recommendation sources, and also can put you on to opportunities and kind of help you along the journey in your legal career. Obviously, you're going to interact with your professor in class, but there are going to be some other ways where you can kind of make those connections and build a deeper relationship with your professor. The easiest way is to go to their office hours, talk to them about class, talk to them about your notes, talk to them about the cases, review your midterms and your final exams with them. You can easily make connections with your professors in sort of a smaller setting like that. Another thing is taking smaller classes. So obviously in your main classes like contracts and stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of students. But if you start to take clinics and things like that where there's a smaller setting, a smaller amount of people within the class, it's going to make it much easier for you to kind of make a deeper connection with your professors. So keep that in mind. Another way to connect with your professors is to participate in volunteer opportunities that the law school puts on. The law school is always going to be promoting events, volunteer opportunities, and things like that that you can participate in. And they're largely going to be run and attended by professors in your law school staff. That's another way to put yourself in front of these professors and build those connections with them. So we talked about networking like within the law school in class and your professors and your classmates. Other places to network is going to be law organizations and events within your community. So for example, I went to school in Houston, Texas. So local bar organizations typically allow law students to join and attend, for example, the Houston Young Lawyers Association. I'm pretty sure they let law students join those organizations. Joining organizations like that and attending them and getting to know people and kind of working the room in those meetings and those events that they put on is a good example of how to kind of network in that space. Also, if you are in organizations within your law school, there's always going to be some extension of that organization within the greater legal community. So attending those events that those organizations are putting on are going to be key as well. Another place to network is to attend events hosted by firms and other legal entities within your community. So law firms are always putting on some sort of charity event or law school focused event, or, you know, there's always something going on. There's, you know, scholarship receptions, annual banquets, all sorts of events like that going on within your legal communities as we speak. So just getting hip to that and then having the courage to attend those events is really going to put you in a good position, because you're going to be meeting people, and it'll likely be organic connections that turn into contacts within the legal community. And that, my friends, is what we call networking. Okay, so another place you can network is on social media, right from the comfort of your own home, on the couch, in the bed. Get on LinkedIn, make a LinkedIn profile. Say what school you go to, say your legal interests. Search for alumni from your law school and your college that are lawyers, that are practicing lawyers or legal professionals, and add them and connect with them. This is something that I wasn't hip to in law school, and I honestly really just got on LinkedIn like that. I've always had a LinkedIn, but I really wasn't logging in and using it. But LinkedIn can be a great resource to network. Lawyers and other legal professionals really do use LinkedIn. They share all sorts of events, articles, thoughts, opine on those things, attend those events, connect with people. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. That's going to be a great place for you to network. And a great way for you to make that first connection is to find people that you have commonalities with. For example, they went to your law school, or they went to your undergrad, or they're in your sorority or fraternity or something like that, and then just go from there. Okay, so now that we've talked about like where to network, like places to go and be at to network, let's talk about how to network. And when I say how to network, let's talk about what that looks like. What are the actions going to look like when you're networking? So first things first, I always suggest this to people. This has like been tried and true. Like prior to law school, people told me to do this. It can be a little cringy, but it actually really works. Then that is reaching out to people for informational interviews. So basically what you do is you can cold call like people you see on LinkedIn, or it could be somebody maybe you met in passing at one of the events, but you want to make a deeper connection. So you reach out to them and you say, hey Angela, it was very nice to meet you at X event. I'm very interested in your legal practice and would love to take you out to coffee to learn more about what you do. And then go from there. One thing that I learned is people love to talk about themselves. People love to share about their practice and what they do and their passions. So that's one way to kind of try to build a deeper connection with somebody after an initial meeting. Another thing you can do is ask people to like virtual coffee. So say they're in a different city. Virtual coffees, that became a thing really during the height of the pandemic, like back in 2020 when no one was going anywhere. Okay, like, hey, can we have a virtual coffee? Which is essentially just asking somebody to get on a Zoom meeting with you for 20 minutes, 15 minutes of their time, and then kind of doing some sort of informational interview or telling them about yourself, getting to know them, that type of thing. And again, just trying to make a deeper connection. Now, I know y'all are hearing this and y'all like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing all of that. But you guys, I promise you it is not that bad. I've had people do that to me, and it actually turned out to be pretty like cool. Like I actually enjoy meeting people, especially people who I wouldn't otherwise meet because we're not in the same place. Even more so now because I do work from home. So any sort of like interaction with people within my field, I'm all for. So don't be afraid to reach out to people and do put yourself out there. Okay, so the next thing is you're gonna have an elevator speech. And I know you guys have probably heard this term before, but when I say speech, don't think about it as a speech. Basically, just know what your spiel is when you're talking about yourself, and don't let it be too long. Sometimes when you meet people, you can be a little caught off guard, and you don't feel prepared to kind of talk about yourself. And so just knowing kind of like a 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds little intro about yourself to kind of reel people in to want to know more about you, or to just realize that like, hey, we might have something in common. Let's have a deeper conversation. And so having that kind of speech ready to go when you're going to these events and meeting people and they ask you, hey, what do you do? Well, yeah, I'm so-and-so. I go to attend so-and-so school and I'm interested in so-and-so type of lodge. Just having something to communicate when you meet people. And that sounds easy, right? Like I know myself, but think about anytime you've done any sort of icebreaker and the icebreaker is like, tell me 3 fun facts about you. And you're like, what is fun about me? What is interesting about me? What makes me unique? Like it's literally you, and you still have trouble figuring out what to say. So having that elevator speech is helpful in times where you're kind of moving and shaking throughout a room during a networking event. Another action that you're going to be doing when you are networking is exchanging information with people. So kind of like I just said, like you're going to have business cards. You're going to be telling people kind of what you do, what school you go to, what you're interested in, things like that. And also in turn receiving information from people as well. And this part is twofold, right? Because even if you make that initial connection, it's not going to turn into a full-on relationship or a full-on contact unless you do the work to kind of follow up and maintain that connection. And it doesn't have to be salesy or anything. It can be like literally genuine. Like think about yourself as an adult trying to make friends versus like when you were in elementary school. In elementary school, you make friends easily because you're in class with the same people every day. As an adult, it's not like that. You actually have to put some effort into even making a friend. So think of it that way. Another action you're going to be doing when you're networking is finding ways to genuinely connect with people. So I mentioned this earlier, but I just wanted to harp on it a little bit more. But like talking to people, like, so if you guys went to the same school, whether that be undergrad or law school, or if you're from the same place, or if you have the same birthday or the same zodiac sign or something, anything to kind of organically connect with that person to see if there's a chance for you guys to build a deeper connection is always going to be good. And of course, in these situations, you want to be not afraid to approach and then also be approachable. Okay, you can't be walking around the room with your head down or frowning or anything. Like you don't want to have RBF when you're trying to network. You want to seem inviting and approachable. The number one piece of advice I can give you guys when it comes to networking and building these relationships is trying to just do it organically. A lot of people mistake building organic relationships for, okay, I don't have to do anything. This person's just gonna walk in my life and I'm gonna get a mentor. That's not how life happens. You are gonna have to put some work in by like doing the things that I've talked about in this video, attending those events, being approachable, approaching people, talking to people. But the organic part comes when you're not trying to be too salesy. You're really trying to get to know this person and see if there are similarities and connections that you guys can build upon. That's where the organic part comes. Organic doesn't mean you don't have to put any work in. Organic doesn't mean that you can sit at home on the weekends and after school and you're gonna find these great mentors and referral sources and people who just hand you a job. That's not what that means. And I just wanted to point that out because I think rightfully so, people are afraid to be too salesy or too clingy or whatever, but you do have to put work in. Like I said, it's one thing to make the connection, but the only way you're going to build up on that relationship is if you are maintaining the relationship, doing maintenance. So that means following up with people, checking in with people, you know, and again, there's genuine ways you are going to check in with people. It's no different from your friends who like live out of state. Like there's some friends that I talk to daily, but there's some friends that I can go weeks or months without talking to. But best believe on their birthday, I'm gonna reach out. Best believe on a milestone, I'm gonna reach out. So just think of it that way. Think of it as maintaining any other relationships in your life. So yeah, you guys, that is how you network in law school. I really hope you guys find this video insightful. If you have any questions or other video ideas, do put them in the comments below. If you aren't following me on Instagram, go ahead and give your girl a follow at _theaspiringboss. Make sure you join our Facebook community, The Aspiring Lawyers. I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below. If you are looking for a one-on-one consultation to talk about your legal journey, whether that be law school study strategy, you didn't do that well last semester and you want to do better this semester, you just have some kind of general questions about your legal journey, I will leave the link to book one-on-one consultations with me. I am booked up for January, but by the time this video is out, February spots will be open. I will warn you guys, they do go fast, so make sure you're on it if you do want to book. I will make sure to try to do a better job about announcing on YouTube, because I usually announce on Instagram when spots go live, so you can try to book those spots. But with that, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.